and welcome to this short video. So a couple of weeks ago I created this illustration and I thought I'd share the process with you. So on the right you can see the Procreate time-lapse, and on the upper left you can see me drawing the little bunny with a pencil. On the lower left you can see me painting in my sketchbook, and there I'm using gouache and pastel pencils and the Neocolor pastel by Carandash. I think I might also be using some watercolor later on, but I'm not quite sure whether that is recorded here in the video. So the color palette for the scene was inspired by an illustration I found online, and I feel that it is a main reason that gives this illustration a very magical vibe. So I really love the color palette of this illustration. And yes, the reason why I created this illustration in the first place was that I really want to get better at creating scenes and not just singular illustrations, which is what I've done so far. Most of the time I've just created singular illustrations of characters or animals, and so I really want to get better at composing scenes. And yes, I also want to practice to create these scenes by using mainly analog mediums, which I paint on paper with, like I said, gouache, watercolor, oil pastel, whatever comes to mind, really. And then I want to practice to put these elements together in Procreate as kind of then a digital collage. Yes, so most of the elements you see on the right were painted in my sketchbook. There are just a couple of trees and yeah, the birds. These were done in Procreate directly, but the rest was done in my sketchbook and then scanned in at 300 dpi. So the bunny was completely colored in Procreate, and yes, this is a look that I really like. So especially when I do extensive line work with a lot of shading and a lot of pattern and mark making, I feel that it looks really nice if I just do a little bit of coloring digitally. And then the idea I had in mind was to do a scene where this bunny, the moon was kind of shining down on the bunny. So originally the illustration was also called Bunny and Moon, but I really could not make it work. So I always felt the scene looked a bit off, even though I liked the moon and I liked all the single elements. I didn't like it all together as a composition. So yes, what I did in the end was to crop the illustration to a square, and then also crop the upper parts of the tree. And yes, I liked the illustration much more when I did that. So yes, I had scanned in all the different elements and then always imported them into the particular canvas you can see. And with most of the elements I also used different blending modes. I think the ones I used the most were the add mode, multiply, linear burn and soft light. And yes, in the future I plan on building a library of all these hand-painted elements, which I can then use for further illustrations as well. And yes, I've already done that with a little girl in a red coat, and I will probably share that process as well. And so this was the process of my illustration, and yes, I hope you enjoyed that a little, and make sure to follow me here on YouTube or maybe also on Skillshare, where I do a lot of art and illustration related classes. See you, bye!